Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to be diving into a Monday Night Football showdown slate. We have the Dallas Cowboys playing in New York against the Giants. It's going to be a really fun game to watch. It's hopefully going to be a shootout. That's what I expect it to be. So this video is going to be kind of quick. I do have to get going to work, so I'm just going to be pretty short and sweet with the plays I like and the reasons why I like them. If you have not already, please do leave a like on this video, though. I greatly appreciate the support, as always. And if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, whether it's Draftkings, FanDuel, Yahoo, any DFS site or season-long fantasy question, please leave them in the comment section below. I am happy to give y'all advice when I can. Now, let's jump into this one. For me, on a night like tonight, it's like I said, it's one of those nights where I think it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, hopefully a shootout. We could just see real quick, last time they played, it was 35-17. That was the only game of the season the Giants defense has put up negative points. It's just, I expect it to be kind of the exact same story tonight. I expect 24-35, 28-35, something along those lines. I'm looking for a high-scoring night. So for that reason, I do like to let you guys know I prefer not to play cash on a high-scoring slate, because if for any reason, and especially on these two teams, because it's like if I want to play, even if I want to go kicker at captain, and this is just an example, don't take this as advice, but even if I want to do that, and then I want to do this, both studs and Dak, now all of a sudden I still can't get Amari, and I mean, if I go for Danny Dimes, I'm really going to be punting somebody. So I'd probably go like Golden Tate, and then I really don't even want to play Aldrick Rosas, though. He hasn't done anything this year. They just don't really kick field goals that much. Tony Pollard's getting a little bit involved. At least he had 8 attempts against Philly. But either way, cash is pretty ugly for me tonight. I'm really not looking to play that much cash at all. If I do play cash, I am not fading Zeke. I am not fading Saquon. I am not fading Dak. That's my advice for cash, is play those 3 guys. But if you do normally play like $5 on a single game showdown, and you just kind of just make one $5 lineup and you hope it does well, I highly recommend on a night like tonight, make 5 $1 lineups, or make 20, 25-cent lineups, something like that. I highly recommend, even if you haven't done it before, I recommend trying to make more lineups than you normally do. Go lower contest fees and play a little bit cheaper tournaments, but play more lineups, because the outcomes tonight are honestly endless. Because not only are these all these studs, you can't fit these all you can't fit all these guys in, but then you come down in this range, and then it's like all of a sudden any of these guys could catch a touchdown tonight. There's a lot of things that could happen. So I just wanted to stress it to you. I highly recommend playing more lineups than you normally do. But for me tonight, especially over here on DraftKings, my guy is going to be Saquon Barkley. I don't plan on having a lineup where I fade Saquon unless it's a Zeke captain lineup where I'm basically just saying the boys just go to town on them, and then the Giants have to air it out. Maybe that's like a Golden Tate, maybe Evan Ingram sort of lineup instead of Saquon. But Saquon's game script independent, so it doesn't really affect him if they're winning or losing. They still get him involved. Not as much as they should, though, when they are trailing. So that's something that the coaching staff is definitely screwing up on, because at the end of the day, if you've ever watched this team when they're trailing, they really kind of take Saquon out of the game more than they should. I'm not saying they completely remove him, but they just don't have him doing everything that he should be doing. Even if they're down by 21 points with 5 minutes left, they just need to run a halfback screen, because the kid will do it for them. But maybe let's go Zeke below, see what this looks like. We all saw what Arizona's running game did to the Giants front. If you think that Chase Edmonds can do that and Ezekiel Elliott can't, you're crazy. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. Now, Dak Prescott having a great start to his 2019 campaign. I like Dak a lot tonight. It's hard not to. I'm not even looking at this number. I could care less what happened last time they played each other. It's pretty much irrelevant to me in all accounts. I just don't care. That was 8 weeks ago. This is Dak Prescott warmed up in the middle of the season on a primetime divisional game. It's a different player than Danny Dimes, who's got something to prove nonetheless, and he's playing this divisional game on primetime television. I get it. I'm looking to target these guys that I think shine when the lights go on and the sun goes down. And for me, that's these guys right here. These are the guys that I really want in my lineup, and that's just kind of who I'm targeting. I know it's probably pretty obvious for most of y'all, but at the same time, maybe no Amari in this one or something like that. We're still going to have to come down here and punt with Blake Jarwin, maybe, who's always got that touchdown upside. I mentioned him in that Philly showdown, and he ended up scoring a touchdown, so hope you played him there. Let's see if we can go Brett Maher and then Randall Cobb, maybe, something like that. That's pretty Dallas heavy, so I don't know how I quite feel about that. But there's a lot of interesting things, and honestly, the roster construction's pretty ugly. There's not a lot of things that like look appealing once you start plugging them in. One thing to note though, Danny Dimes, his price tag is minuscule. For a starting quarterback with the weapons that he has, and he has that big boomer bust potential with that 32.18, 13, 8, 11, 14, 40. I mean, he's got some serious boomer bust, and he's playing a pretty weak defense in the Dallas Cowboys. So definitely not going to be ignoring Danny Dimes tonight. But I am really going to be looking to make a lot of lineups with Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott in captain. I'm probably going to have 40% Zeke, 50% Saquon, and 10% of my lineups will have Amari Cooper in captain. That's how I plan on approaching DraftKings. Let me jump over to FanDuel with you, though. If you're playing cash, again, I always like to mention it to you. For me, I think it's got to be Dak Prescott over here on FanDuel, just with how the scoring is. Zeke has been a little bit more involved in the passing game. Saquon is still very involved in the passing game. And without that full PPR, I'm just going to lean towards Dak to be my cash game captain. I'm not going to be fading either one of these guys in cash, as I mentioned. We have 82.50 left. Let's punt with Blake Jarwin. This is just, he's one of those guys where he's probably going to catch a ball or two, and maybe if for any reason he gets a touchdown, you're golden. Speaking of golden, we have Golden Tate right here at 11K. We could get him now. We could get Michael Gallup. We could do anything really. So whatever you do on cash, I highly recommend having these three guys. You don't have to have them in this order. I'm okay with any of them in your MVP spot. I personally would lean Dak though, just because of the matchup. And then for me, again, I'm going to be looking. I don't care if it's full PPR or not. I definitely am going to give Zeke a little bit more love in the captain spot over here on FanDuel. But it's going to be the same three guys for me for sure. If we wanted to do, let's say, Zeke in the MVP spot, again, that Arizona front, if Chase Edmonds can do that, and this is what a lot of people are going to say, then Zeke can do that. I get it. But at the end of the day, that matchup with DeAndre Baker and Janoris Jenkins, Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup could both feast tonight. And I'm not saying Zeke won't have a good game. I still think he goes 100 plus. But I mean, if for any reason, maybe he doesn't go 100 plus. Maybe he only gets like 2 or 3 touchdowns, and both of these other wide receivers both go for 100 plus yards and don't get in the end zone or something like that. There's a lot of different things that can happen on a 35-28 sort of game like I expect this one to be. But if we wanted to go boom, boom, and do this in a different order, it still kind of limits what else you can do. So if you really want to get different over here on FanDuel, you're going to be fading one of these big running backs at the end of the day, because you're really not going to get up to Amari Cooper. You can't get him in here unless you were to pop one of those guys out. But if it is one of those massive high-scoring games on FanDuel, you're going to need Dak. So it's going to be Zeke or Saquon that's coming out of your lineup at the end of the day. And for me, I would take Zeke out and then go plug Saquon in up top maybe. And then let's say we want Amari Cooper now, and we have 87.50 per player left. Michael Gallup's 10.5. Can we do that in Jarwin? Oh, we could easily do that in Jarwin. Maybe something like that. We could even do Wayne Gallman or Tavon Austin. So at the end of the day, for me tonight, I'm looking to not really fade either one of the stud running backs. I need Dak Prescott in pretty much every single lineup I make tonight. I know that everybody is saying, I'm playing Zeke and Saquon, so it's probably not the most useful information. But what I do recommend is in your tournament lineups, I would lean towards Saquon in the captain spot on both sites. Maybe give Zeke a little bit more love over here on FanDuel. But if you don't want to play either one of them and you really want to take a shot, Amari Cooper is always going to have that slate-breaking potential. And that's pretty much it for FanDuel. Over on DraftKings, though, I did want to mention one last thing. If you want to go cheap at captain with Sterling Shepard still out, Darius Slayton actually, he's not getting he could always do this. He could have a 2-target, 2-catch kind of game. But he's been involved. And I did just want to mention Darius Slayton real quick, because if you were to pop him into your captain spot, you can fit quite a bit, actually. You could boop, boop, boop. And then, let's see. If we were to go Michael Gallup, maybe. Yeah, and then just punt with somebody else. So I did want to mention that real quick, because Darius Slayton can allow you to fit in quite a bit of players. So if you have not already, though, please do leave a like on this video. I greatly appreciate the support, as always. I apologize for a little bit of a shorter video. It's not too short, but good luck to everybody tonight. I hope you all watch the game. I think it's going to be a great one to watch. The NFC East just absolutely hates each other, so you never know what's going to happen when one of these when these games are on prime time. So good luck again to everyone, and I will see you guys by Wednesday morning with an NBA video, if not tomorrow with an NBA video.